it paused. But yeah, so that was kind of my mirror this week is like we're all the hero. Hero of our own stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about windows?
I talked about, where'd it go? How, like, I was kind of giving a glimpse into, like, a world where, like, your way of life is, like, being challenged and unaccepted by others.
Oh, yeah.
And how, like, your life and, like, your home and culture is just being invaded and threatened. And I just kind of thought about how, like, here I'm part of the majority and how, like, the Amazon people were also part of technically the majority down there, but, like, I never thought, like, I could be, like, here where I'm part of the majority and have, like, my culture be threatened, like, just that privilege that I've had. And, like, how even though they were part of the majority, they were being threatened, and it, like, made me think about how I would feel if that were to happen to me, and just like how that was happening just because these people wanted the benefits that the land had to offer, like the, what was it, jewels or gold or something.
There's like the diamonds and stuff that they got.
Yeah, and like I can't really imagine what it would be like, but like from this book I can kind of like get that feeling, like I'm left with that aching sensation and kind of like that sick feeling, like this actually can happen.
Yeah. That's a good window. Part of my window was, you know, at the end where, like, we didn't see it coming that the doctor was in on it and that they all just, like, all their team just, like, went and betrayed them and were trying to be
rude.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Rude. But, yeah, so that was kind of like a window for me of something I've also been kind of learning lately is not trusting everyone based on face value and, like, not saying, oh, well, we're part of a team, so I can trust you, you know?
Doctor, I can always trust you.
Yeah, and like, yeah, like even just trusting people I don't really know, because that's something I've always kind of done. It's like, I'm a friendly person. I like to, you know, say hi to people, and I like to think that I can trust the people around me, even if I don't really know them. Like, I have this belief that everyone's kind of good at heart, you know, I see the best, but then seeing this book and how everyone just kind of betrayed him and was about to kill off this culture at the very end, I was like, wow, I guess that's a good lesson to learn, that you really can't trust everybody. And like, it actually just kind of made me think of like a not trusting everybody that you meet kind of thing that I had this week. It was this crazy thing. I was standing in line at Zoe's, and like I was in my socks because we were doing homework, and so I ran out to get something. I was in my socks, and I looked over at this other person in line, and she too was wearing socks. And so I was like, yeah, sock buddy. And so I just smiled at her, and oh my gosh, all of a sudden her fists clench and her shoulders brace. She comes right up to me, and she's like, I am really put off by your face. And she's like, I don't know what happened. She was like, incredibly the most aggressive person I've ever met. She was like right up in my face. I really thought for a second that she was gonna hurt me. It was terrifying.
Oh my God.
And like, so I just like turned away. I'm like, oh my God, don't hurt me. And she's like, don't you turn away from me. I was like, oh my God, don't hurt me. Yeah. And then she was like really aggressive towards the cashier. So I was like, all week after that, I was just like, don't smile at anybody. I'm so scared. And so, yeah, just like, yeah, we're both sock buddies, but we're not buddies.
No, you're all friends.
So, yeah, it's just kind of like learning a little lesson and not trusting everybody that you see. So, that was kind of a window for me. Is like, okay, not everybody's friendly, and not everybody is on your side. It was crazy. I was legitimately scared of this person. Yeah, so that was just kind of a funny little. It was like a mirror and a window in one kind of thing. Yeah, so anyway, there's my crazy story of the week.
Okay, so my window was a tad different than yours.
Didn't get bullied by strangers this week.
Mine was, I was kind of taking it on the perspective of being a teacher kind of, and how
you could have a child coming in that has a parent that has been affected with cancer.
Oh.
I like took it from that point of view because I was just like, okay, like what can I take from this book? And it kind of showed me how difficult it was for Alex to live in fear that his mother might pass away, may not pass away.
Oh,
He might
yeah.
not be there.
Yeah, how it really affected who he was, like
That's a really
and his
good
temper,
point.
and he threw everything. And I know, as a being teacher, I want to be able to understand, how that could possibly feel to always be on the edge. And
That's a good one.
I just and then I was able to see how empowered Alex began to get about his mother's cancer, because at first we saw him just freaking out. Of course everyone would freak out, but then we saw him trying to save his mother, kind of going to the fountain of youth to get the water. And I was like, that's a really big step for him, trying to show his mother that he does care rather than just throwing things everywhere.
Yeah. Doesn't just give up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying.
He was kind of in denial, and then he kind of accepted it and started to see what can I do to help.
And he went on this huge adventure just to kind of help her out.
Mm-hmm.
It's wow.
And I just kind of really enjoyed how this book encompassed the adventure and the struggle of him, and just I don't know, still the whole mother thing and not ending and figuring out what happened. I just want to know if that water worked or not.
You gotta read the next book.
I don't know, it just was I got really nervous for him when he came home and he saw that his dad was shaving his mom's head, and it's just, I couldn't imagine seeing that happen and how I would react. So I was kind of just trying to take away, how would I handle that as a teacher if I knew that that's something that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take from it.
That's a really good window. I like that.
Thanks, guys.
Do we want to go over those questions for...
Do we?
Okay, I did one of them.
Which one?
I don't know. I can't find it.
Oh, it's.
I was just looking at the one about how does children's literature continue the dominant mainstream story, and how does it disrupt it? For the continuing it, I was thinking the text, or one of the things I read talked about how a lot of things were socially constructed, and how authors would be influenced by what's around them, and what they see, and that kind of changes how they take perspectives on what they're writing about, and just how a lot of what's in society influences the author, which in turn influences what gets written.
Yeah.
So it's hard to separate what we experience from what we would write.
It's kind of funny going off on that a little bit. Something this trend that I've noticed in science fiction in the past couple of years. When we think about the future in our science fiction kind of things, think about in the 50s and 60s with the Jetsons, right? And how it was just flying cars, all this great technology, we're going to have such a great technological future.
Yeah.
And now all of our futuristic things are dystopias. It's our view of the future has changed so drastically, and I feel that's kind of a reflection on our what our culture is thinking right now, and kind of what you're saying about how the culture affects the writer, who affects the story. So it's I just keep on thinking back to the Hunger Games, how it's well, are we all thinking that the government is gonna just take over and make us kill each other kind of thing, or that's just an interesting little trend that I've been noticing lately. It's we're all into the dystopian futures right now. It's kind of frightening and not very uplifting. Can we go back to the flying cars?
And robots and all that.
Really. Can we have a little Rosie the maid, please? That was cool. Yeah, so wait, so you answered question 1, right?
I did 2.
Okay, 2. I was wait a minute. Because that kind of
I didn't do how they disrupt it, but then again, it's almost the reverse of what I said. Those people who have become aware of those stereotypes or whatever it may be can kind of write to counter that. Kind of like the City of the Beast does. In the beginning, it makes us aware of what can exist in power relations and how it can be changed. Toward the end, when they're starting to listen to Alexander and Nadia and things like that. It's almost did you watch the video on The Giver? Her talking about her book and how this is such a really nice place to live and everything, and then you start to realize this is only because they're all the same color, there's
Yeah.
no money, and like,
Yeah. It's looking at the third one based off of what you were just saying about how they're all one color and everything, and like about immigrant Native women, LGBTQI.
what does the I stand for?
I think it's investigating
It's
or
In
inquiring. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, anyway.
lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual,
Queer and
indecisive.
indecisive. That's it.
Okay.
Huh.
I hadn't heard it with the I before.
I know, me neither.
I just heard the I, and I never really knew exactly what it
I
stood
know that
for.
they'd put an A on it, or I'd seen it with A
Oh,
for like a
asexual or something?
or ally.
Oh, ally. Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was, but anyway, you were saying something.
Oh,
and I
no,
missed
it's cool. Yeah, I'm looking at this question, kind of thinking about it a little bit more, like how they are represented in children's books. Because, like, first of all, it's kind of not a very good thing that I actually have to struggle to think about how they're represented there. Because I can definitely think about, how are white people represented in these books, but I'm like, okay, how are they? Like, wait a minute. I guess one example I can think of, it's obviously not a book that we've read for this class, but it's a trend in some like fantasy comics that I've been looking at. Like I've been looking at some for kids, and there's this one in the fantasy story where the girl saves the princess in the tower. Like it's actually kind of funny because this girl's a princess, and it's actually cool because she is. Like it's actually cool. No, she's African American, first of all. So and like the royal family is African American, which I was like, that's cool. I like that they're doing that representation. And all the daughters in the family are sent to towers to live when they reach a certain age, and then they have to wait for their prince to come save them. And of course they're guarded by the dragon and all the typical fantasy stuff. But then this girl is, like, she actually chases away from her tower. She befriends the dragon and chases away all the princes that come. Because she's just like, no, I don't want to be saved by a guy. This is stupid. And then she ends up, like, teaming up with the dragon and escaping from the tower, rescuing herself and becoming a knight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's all this, like, fun, kid-friendly style and language, but it's like these themes are in it. So I've been noticing a change in that trend in comics, so.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a really cute, fun comic, actually.
That sounds like a good one.
Yeah. So that was just kind of something like, I know it's obviously not a major thing, but it's like, it's there, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a really good example, too.
Any other thoughts on this one?
Sorry.
Don't do that.
We're at, we have,
45 minutes.
yeah, something like that.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Would you guys include some of these books into your library collection?
I really liked the read alouds.
Yeah, I like those too. I think I would include them.
Yeah. Did you guys read that poem that was like about the instructions?
The fairy tales instructions?
Yeah.
I loved it.
That was such a cool poem. I thought that was really fun to read because like you can just kind of think about all those things in fairy tales and fantasy that you've read. Like, oh yeah, there's I liked how it was even relatable to real life about like if someone's hungry, help them out. If someone's in trouble, help them out. And
Give them what they want.
yeah, but then it's also saying like beware of strangers. There's like stranger danger, and there's people who will do bad things against you, and so be careful of that.
Almost like the lessons that each of those fairy tale characters learn.
Yeah,
Like,
all compiled into one big poem.
I can't think of them off the top of my head, but like, give him what he wants, because the character who originally went through didn't give them what he wanted, and so they had something happen, and
yeah, like don't disrespect someone based on how they look. Like help them out if they need it, you know. So, but yeah, I really like that poem. That's a poem I would maybe share with like a older elementary or middle school class because they've had the chance to read some fantasy and fairy tales. So it's like we would talk about, okay, so what fairy tales and poems and stuff can you relate back to this poem and stuff like that. So I really like that. I thought it was a cool thing to include. I saved it.
I think I'm gonna go back through and kind of save all these really good books and
Mhm.
ideas and stuff.
Yeah. Would you include City of the Beasts in your library, do you think?
I don't know, as much as I liked it, I don't know how I felt about like the gore.
Mm-hmm.
Even though just like waking up to that smell and I was like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
I understand maybe for like 8th graders, 8th graders, but I wouldn't see it as a read aloud for younger children.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I didn't even read any Isabel Allende until high school. Because some of her stuff can be a little graphic. Like, actually, like, one of them talks about a guy taking a young girl's virginity. It's like, whoa, okay, not gonna read that to the kids. But, like, it's real, but it's not always the most appropriate for young readers, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said I'd consider it just because it does make the reader aware of like different power relations and things like that, and it helps us to start thinking about how we can change them. And I like that it was both realistic and had like that fantasy quality to it. And I really like that the young characters were really relatable.
Nadia.
Yeah.
And it like presented this in a way that wasn't too overwhelming.
Yeah. I think that's the like really important part in the fantasy is making it relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think we're good.
I think we're good.
All right. Well, good job, team. So we're just meeting one more time next week. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh.
If you guys want to like get together and just work on our website,
Oh, that'd be
just
cool.
for, not like for like, I need help, like just for being there. Sometimes it's easier for me to like get things done when I know other people are getting
Yeah.
things done.
Say goodbye.
When other people are there to like be like, okay.
Like, oh, okay, I can't.
Gotta get a computer.